Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. How about one more round of applause for your new San Antonio City Council? First time we've seen that on television, and certainly not the last. It's a beautiful evening, and I thank you all for being here. The top of the hour has come, the cathedral bells have rang, and I am Ernie Zuniga with KSAT 12. It's an absolute honor to be here with you tonight. We have an amazing, emotional program to get to, and of course, we'll meet your leaders here in just a moment. If you will indulge me for a few moments on a personal note. It is an honor for me to be here, and I find tonight as a full circle moment for me. No script here. I just want to speak from the heart for a few moments. Many of you may not realize that a little more than 2 years ago, I was in a point in my life when I was between jobs. And I was feeling pretty good about myself. I had sent out dozens of resumes all over the city. You name the company, the organization, the hospital, the university, the outlet, and I had sent them out. And I waited and waited, and the phone never rang. And I went through a period of time where I was second-guessing myself and doubting myself and having a little pity party and wondering, what have I done and what's going to happen? Around that same time, in May of 2023, San Antonio had a city election. And as fate would have it, there were some new city council members that year, and a friend of mine was working in constituent services in District 10 for then Council Member Perry. And he reached out to me and said, you know what, we've got a new council member in 10, Mark White, and I think we could really use your skills and your help and whatever that looks like. And I explained, I met with the councilman. I had never met him before, but I met with him and the staff, and I realized I'm not interested in the politics, right? There are enough talented people to do that. But I do love a microphone, and I love to talk to people. And a lot of the outreach in whatever district we're talking about involves public events and meeting people and constituents, right? I do not live in District 10. But I will tell you, this is the first time I've had an opportunity since I've been hired at KSAT to publicly acknowledge the people of District 10 on the northeast side who embraced me for a year and a half and treated me like family and welcomed me in as their own. We did town halls on homelessness and the budget, and we tried to make the budget fun for 2 hours. Thanksgiving turkey drives, Christmas parties, fiesta parties, and it was so great. And we did a lot of things on social media. I know Raul Ubides is here tonight, the Chief of Staff for 10. He's up top there. And I just want to acknowledge you and all of the other 9 Chiefs of Staff who work so tirelessly behind the scenes to do amazing work. Because yes, we all know that these dozen people or so are the ones that end up on television, right? We know their names, and we're certainly going to get to know their names over the next 4 years. But 2 things I came away with during my year and a half as a part-time employee of the city of San Antonio is, 1, the people of District 10 were very, very kind to me, and I will not forget that. But 2, every single leader behind us is led by a chief of staff, a comms person, a policy person, a zoning person, constituent services, names and faces you will never see on TV and certainly would not recognize. But as we speak, they are doing so important work to make all of these people look as good as they can be. So tonight, I want to acknowledge our elected officials, but certainly acknowledge the amazing people that work tirelessly behind the scenes to make it happen. So to you, Raul, and all of your colleagues, I salute you, and I thank you. And I thank you for indulging me on that. All right, now to the business of hand tonight. We are going to introduce the new dais, if you will. And the first order of business, essentially, just for housekeeping purposes, the first order of business from the new mayor is the seating arrangement. From here forward, we've got the council members arranged numerically from 1 to 10, as opposed to 1 to 5 and 10 to 6. So just for housekeeping purposes, if you're wondering when they walk in, wait a minute, they're not sitting. The only person that hasn't moved, as I understand it, is Phyllis Villagran. She's still right here. Her pillow is still there, and everything is still here as it was the other day. So just for housekeeping purposes, 1 through 10. Okay, of course, the mayor still gets the center seat. With that, before we introduce our new council members and our re-elected council members and, of course, the new mayor, let's bring in 3 individuals from our great city of San Antonio. And if I could please start with our city attorney, Andy Segovia. We're not doing this for another 4 years, so you got to get your photo now. All right, thank you, Andy. And he'll take his seat, his familiar spot. Next up, our city clerk, Debbie Rocca Sitter. Thank you, Debbie. And lastly, taking his familiar seat over here, our city manager, Eric Walsh. Thank you, Eric, for indulging us here. One more round of applause here for Andy, Debbie, Eric. Thank you. And thank you for your service as well. We want to acknowledge local leadership from Bexar County. So many familiar faces here with us tonight, to include our county judge, Peter Sakai. Thank you, Judge, for being here. Our county commissioners, other Bexar County officials, our military leaders in Military City, USA. We salute you. From Joint Base San Antonio. We also want to recognize our former mayors, former city managers, and our current community partners that work with us to build and strengthen our beautiful city. If you're in the audience, if you would just wave or be acknowledged. Again, too many to count, but we appreciate your service and you being with us here tonight. We are honored to acknowledge the presence of consuls general representing a number of countries: France, Germany, Japan, Mexico, the Philippines, the Republic of Korea, and Spain, as well as the honorary consuls based in San Antonio representing Chile, the Czech Republic, France, Spain, and the United Kingdom. If all of you would please stand and wave and be acknowledged. We welcome you. Thank you. Thank you. So we have a very special program for all of you this evening. We have so many incredible individuals to introduce to you tonight over the course of the next few minutes. And if that, I would ask for a little musical accompaniment from up top here, and the wonderful 323rd Army Band, Fort Sam's Own. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my privilege to welcome into you the 2025 through 2029 San Antonio City Council. Beginning with District 1 Council Member Dr. Suk Kaur. She is accompanied by her aunt and uncle, Winky Singh and G.P. Singh. District 2 Council Member Jalen McKee Rodriguez. He is accompanied by his husband, Nathan McKee Rodriguez. District 3 Council Member Phyllis Villagran. She is accompanied by her mother, Becky Villagran. District 4 City Council Member Edward Munguia. He is accompanied by his partner, Kelly Alcocer. District 5 Council Member Terry Castillo. She is accompanied by her nephew, Joshua Lazarus Ituarte. District 6 Council Member Rick Galvan. He is accompanied by his girlfriend, Corinna Contreras. District 7 Council Member Marina Aldarete Gavito. She is accompanied by her daughters Marielle and Giselle and Paul Masalua. District 8 Council Member Ivalis Mesa Gonzalez. She is accompanied by her husband Manuel Gonzalez and their children Emma and Joaquin. District 9 Council Member Misty Spears. She is accompanied by her husband, Justice Adrian Spears, and their children, Savannah, Scarlett, and Sadie. District 10 Council Member Mark White. He is accompanied by his wife, Lorian White, and their children, Ashlyn and Olivia. Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for your San Antonio City Council. Of course, there is one more seat to fill. It is now my honor and my privilege to present to you for the very first time publicly in this chamber the mayor of the city of San Antonio, Mayor Gina Ortiz Jones. Mayor Jones is accompanied by her mother, Victorina M. Ortiz, and partner, Dr. Angelica Cortez. I'd like to ask the rest of you to please stand now and welcome our Most Reverend Archbishop of the Archdiocese of San Antonio, the Reverend Gustavo Garcia Sierra.
We are truly blessed to be here this evening. Most gracious God, ever faithful and true, we gather today before your holy presence as the people of San Antonio entrust our city to the leadership of our newly elected mayor and city council. We thank you for calling them to service and for the confidence placed in them by our residents and citizens. Everyone who is part of this wonderful city. Almighty Father, grant Mayor Gina Ortiz Jones the wisdom to discern what is just, the courage to uphold the vulnerable, and the compassion to govern with humility. Bless each council member, a team with insight that seeks the common good above all personal gain, that they may build bridges of unity across every district and community. May they shine because of their dedication and love. May people find a home in their hearts. Hear us, O Lord, as we place our leaders under the gaze of your loving care. Inspire them to listen attentively to the voices of the poor, the vulnerable, and all who labor under the burdens unseen. Strengthen their resolve to invest in beauty where there is degradation, in opportunity where there is need, and in fellowship where there is division. As Pope Leo XIV reminds us, the path to peace demands hearts and minds trained in concern for others and capable of perceiving the common good in today's world. End of quote. May our civic leaders, too, embrace service as their highest calling, ever mindful that true authority is born of love. And send forth your Holy Spirit to guide their deliberations, that every ordinance and initiative may reflect your mercy and truth. And through the intercession of a woman, the mother of Jesus, Our Lady of Guadalupe, patroness and mother of our city, may San Antonio flourish in peace, justice, and solidarity. All this we ask through Christ, the Lord. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Archbishop. We appreciate you being here with us tonight. I'll ask that all of you please continue to remain standing. The United States Joint Base Color Guard will present the colors now, followed by the national anthem, which will be sung by Petty Officer First Class Leslie Savage Monroe, and the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Jalen Roundtree, recipient of the Girl Scout Gold Award, the highest award in Girl Scouting from the Girl Scouts of Southwest Texas.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all so much. You all may be seated now. And how about another round of applause for United States Joint Base Color Guard, Petty Officer First Class Leslie Savage Monroe, and to Jalen Roundtree. There she goes. Girl Scout Gold Award, the highest honor in Girl Scouting from the Girl Scouts. So congratulations, and thank you, Jalen, again for being with us here tonight. Just want to go off script to acknowledge, we saw the photo ops up here really quick. I want to acknowledge the spouses, the significant others, the children who look so beautiful up here, and I think all of these people would agree. They've sacrificed so much during the campaign season, in some cases multiple campaign seasons, and will continue to do so for at least the next 4 years. So can we acknowledge all the family members and significant others, spouses, children, extended family that are all here? Thank you for what you do. And yes, you deserve a standing ovation. Thank you all. I know they appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. It is time to get down to the formal business at hand. At this time, our city clerk, Debbie Rockasitter, will formally administer the oath of office to the newly elected mayor and city council members.
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, please rise, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office state your office, of the City of San Antonio, and the State of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God. Congratulations.
I think a different script. Thanks. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we go. First, I'd like to say thank you to Ernie for being such a great MC for the inauguration ceremony, and I want to congratulate my council colleagues, and I look forward to a prosperous and effective 2025-2029 city council term. At this time, we'll hear brief remarks from my council colleagues. Councilmember Kaur, would you like to make a few remarks?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mayor. Well, thank you all so much for coming today. I want to start off first by thanking my amazing team that's here today, my Chief of Staff, Ryan Saltz, Cameron, and Kashmir. Thank you all so much for being the face that people truly elected. I learned that this election cycle. Folks, that we get to stand up here and make policy and work together to collaborate to build solutions, but they're the ones that are answering the phone calls, that are working with constituents, that are making sure that the work that needs to get done in the office gets done so we can be up here successfully doing our job. I know I'm not always the easiest person to work for, but I appreciate you all for sticking through and always being by my side. So I'm so grateful for you, and I could not do this without you. So I really want to say that District 1 is truly the corazon of San Antonio, and I truly believe that. We talked earlier today about being a leader for the whole city, and District 1 really forces you to do so. We have the suburbs of the city with Greater Harmony Hills and Colonial Hills that used to be the suburbs previously outside of 410. We have the most historic neighborhoods in the city, and we have the Central Business District. So we can't be singular focused as an elected for this office. And that has taught me a lot. It has taught me about listening, about learning, about not making assumptions where someone is coming from. And I think it's truly helped me in my first term in leading policy that's really effective for our community. But there's still so much work to do. So I'm just gonna highlight a little bit about what we wanna focus on for this next term. So previous Mayor Ron Nirenberg mentioned I took on the orange cone head on this last 2 years. And John, you and I can't see him, but John, you and I are gonna still be best friends for these next 4 years. Not only because I have positivity as one of my strengths, but because you will always do whatever it takes, even in heat of a moment where I'm super frustrated that South Alamo is still not done, you will continue to make me smile. And I know we're gonna work together to really figure out some of the biggest challenges with infrastructure in our community to make a difference for our residents, because really, Councilmember White always says we're the first elected closest to our representatives, and the first thing they see when they get out their house is their street and their sidewalk. And too many San Antonians live without an accessible sidewalk. And so we're gonna work together to address that. The second thing that we have to focus on is housing. I truly had no idea how hard it was to build housing until I got into this position, and how little housing, even affordable, there is downtown. The last year really taught me that the unique part about having affordable housing downtown is they need to be efficiency units, and if anybody's in construction, you realize the cost of construction is just skyrocketing, and that means that gets transferred to our constituents. And unless we are doing something to address that, people are going to be forced out of their homes, and we're going to be multiplying issues for our unhoused population, for jobs, et cetera. So we have to address housing. And I know so many of my council colleagues are so passionate about that, and I'm excited to see what we can do in the future. My staff and I remain committed to figuring out unique solutions, because I don't know if you know this, but District 1 is landlocked, and unlike D3, where they can build this amazing Juliet Vita, we don't have the ability to do that in D1. And so we've got to get creative. We've got to think about what is the way that we can remove barriers to truly create innovative missing middle housing. And we're committed to figuring out ways to do that in this next term, or continuing that path at least that was previously set for us. And the last thing that we really need to focus on is public safety. And Mayor Jones earlier said, I liked this metaphor, it said no failed missions. And I appreciate that a lot, because there is so much importance that we need to have in public safety in our community. But the one component that I'll add to your statement from earlier today is our stray and loose dog population. It is truly, in District 1, a big issue, and Councilwoman Alderete Gavito, Councilmember McKee Rodriguez, Councilman Castillo have been super big advocates for this too. It's such pain when you hear someone who gets attacked by a dog, when your own animal gets attacked, and it's scary. It can be life-threatening, and we don't have strong solutions. It has to be a current solution and a long-term. We've got great teams set up at ACS, but I know we're going to be able to work together to truly address that. So that's going to continue to be a priority for our office. So I'll say this to end, that I mentioned District 1 as the corazón of San Antonio, and it has the heart, I truly believe. But it also has the biggest epidemic, I think, in our city, which is our economic divide. You can cross 3 blocks in District 1 and truly go from $1 million home with beautifully paved sidewalks and trees that you're like, this is amazing, to a neighborhood that has massive drainage issues, no sidewalks, homes that need the support and love and aren't getting it. And that's, I think, our challenge in this next term, is how do we truly get to addressing the issues that affect our community most? And I would love to taking on a portion of that economic divide as a council together. And so I'll end by saying that I have been blessed to work with the city staff, Eric and the team, Lori as my liaison, all the rest of the assistant city managers. We have a really great team. Yeah, I'll end. I know we're only supposed to be 3 minutes, and I'm usually not long-winded, but someone, my first conference pitched that said, hey, I heard we're going to try to go after your city manager, Eric. And I was like, look, I'm a boxer now. I will fight you. And we truly do, I think, have the best city manager. He's always willing to listen, willing to hear what we hear, because he knows we're in the community and listening to constituents. So his first question to me is always, what are you hearing out there, and how can we best address that? And that's a great vantage point to bring as the person that's leading the 7th largest city in the country. So I am so grateful to be up here, to be reelected by the community. 2 years ago, I sat up here and said it was amazing that I got to be the first South Asian elected to city council. And every time someone goes through the airport, whether it's a Sikh American, I'm the only South Asian woman in the entire state of Texas that's elected to a city council. And now I get to be a part of a city council that's 7 of 11 female representation. And I think that's pretty incredible, and that's what makes me so proud to be your District 1 councilman for the next 4 years, and I'm proud to be a part of this amazing council. And we always say this, let's go is like my big phrase, and so in Spanish said, vamos con todo, D1, vamos con todo, San Antonio. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Kaur. Councilman McKee Rodriguez, would you like to make a few remarks?
Imagine if I said no. Good evening, everybody. Okay, let's act like y'all from San Antonio. Good evening.
Good evening.
I want to begin by, well, first of all, y'all missed the roast earlier. Today is going to be a little bit more serious. I want to begin by expressing so much gratitude. The opportunity to serve in this capacity is not one that I take lightly, and I'll forever be indebted to the people who make it possible. To my husband, Nathan, thank you for being my rock, for your patience, strength, and your deep well of love that holds me up when this work gets heavy, and it does get heavy. You carry more than people know, and I hope tonight you feel the weight of my gratitude. I'm so incredibly proud of of you and all that you've accomplished, and at the end of every day, your voice brings all of the comfort that I need, and I'm so excited to embark on this new journey with you. You're going to be an excellent dad, and I can't wait to see it. To my family at home, I am who I am because of you, because of your sacrifices, because of your love, and because of your belief in me before anyone knew my name. To my staff, Frankie, Jolene, Denise, Imgard, Sean, Maria, Alicia, and Krista, and everyone else who supports us. If y'all wouldn't mind standing real quick. Your brilliance, your compassion, and your grind make this office what it is. You are the engine behind every policy win, every constituent callback, every neighborhood improvement. You don't just support me, but you serve this community with excellence and grace, and it is an honor to serve alongside you all. Thank you so much to all of the city staff, from our part-time employees to our city management. It is, again, an honor to work alongside you. And again, I mentioned earlier, thank you for working with us to follow our guidance as well as our misguidance and misdirection. And to District 2, my home, my heart, and my mission, the soul of the city, thank you for trusting me again. 4 years ago, we made history, and now we've made a movement. And I'm committed to seeing that movement forward. When I first ran for office, I was 26 years old and had taught high school math in one of the most under-resourced zip codes in the city. I saw students navigating trauma just to make it to first period. I saw communities ignored by systems that were supposed to serve them. I saw brilliance, talent, and resilience in kids who were walking to school on crumbling sidewalks, dodging violence, and babysitting siblings while their parents worked double shifts just to survive. And I ran because they shouldn't have to be prepared to enter a cruel, ugly world. I wanted to prepare a better world for them. And as I prepare to become a father in just a few days, this work has never been more personal for me. We are not where we need to be. We live in a city, in a state, in a country, in a world where the working class is asked to sacrifice while the wealthy are handed tax breaks and ribbon cuttings, where Black and brown neighborhoods still wait decades for basic infrastructure, where young queer kids are told they don't belong, and where women have been stripped of the right to control their bodies, where we beg for mental health care while our jails overflow, where students are forced to learn in overcrowded classrooms while state leaders focus not on funding our schools, but on banning books and the drag queens who read them, where families are being torn apart and children suffer the consequences of war and violence both abroad and right here at home. We are bringing children into this world and accepting the inevitability of their pain, their suffering, and their disappointment. And this is a reality that we inherit, but is not the future that we have to accept, and it is one that I refuse. I'm proud that in just these past 2 terms, we've shifted the conversation around public safety from purely punishment to prevention. We've invested millions into long-neglected neighborhoods, paving streets, fixing drains, building parks and community centers, and lighting up dark corners of our city. We've made historic and long-awaited investments in animal care services. We've allocated hundreds of millions of dollars in programs and initiatives that will have an impact long after we're gone, including youth programs that don't just keep kids busy, but uplift their talent and their story. And we've championed housing, health, art, green space, and equity in every policy discussion. We did all of that, and it's just getting started. In these final 4 years, we will go bolder. We'll fight to prevent displacement with policy and passion. We'll challenge predatory development and center people, not profit, in every conversation. We'll invest in infrastructure with equity at the core because every child deserves a sidewalk, a bus stop, a street light, and clean water. We'll speak truth even when it's uncomfortable because our job is not to protect power, it's to serve people. We'll disrupt the systems that harm our community, and we will do it without hesitation and without question. And we will lead with love, because what I've learned in these 4 years is you cannot policy your way out of injustice if you don't love the people you serve. And I love this city. I love District 2. I love the block parties and the small business owners, the grandmothers and the GSA kids, the neighbors who show up for each other even when the system doesn't. I love my daughter, and I want her to inherit a city where justice and equity aren't just a talking point, but a lived experience. So let me be clear once more. I did not come here to maintain the status quo, and that is not what you should expect of me over the next 4 years. I came here to build something radically better. I will not be polite in the face of injustice. I will not be silent when systems fail our people, and I will not waste my final term playing it safe or cowering to the status quo. Because our communities deserve boldness, they deserve urgency, they deserve action, and they've waited long enough. 4 years from now, I will leave this seat, not because I lost it, never did that. But because we won something bigger, a more just, more joyful, more people-powered city, a District 2 that doesn't just get by, but gets ahead, and a community that knows their council member led with love and courage and without regrets. I plan to leave a city and a district better than I found it. I plan to build a blueprint for what governance can look like when it centers working-class people, regular-ass working-class people, when it uplifts Blackness, when it reimagines safety, and when it tells the truth and dares to dream. So tonight, I recommit to the people, to the purpose, to the promise that public office can still be about public service. Let's work, let's build, let's fight, and let's win. Thank you so much, San Antonio, and thank you, District 2.
Thank you, Councilmember McKee Rodriguez. Councilmember Villagran, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, my fellow council colleagues, and most importantly, the residents of District 3, it is with great honor and humility that I sit before you today to begin my final 4-year term representing the proud and resilient community of San Antonio's South and Southeast side. District 3 is where culture, history, and innovation meet. This journey would not have been possible without the unwavering support of those closest to me. I want to thank my campaign manager, Dr. Laura Barbarena, and the entire team, Chase, Laura, Judy, Ben, Viva Politics. You got me here, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and you got Rebecca here 4 times also, so thank you for your efforts. My mother, whose strength and values laid the foundation for everything I do, and my sister and former District 3 councilwoman for being my sounding board and biggest advocate. To my extraordinary District 3 team, past and present, you are the 2014 Spurs. Virginia, Anna, Debbie, Melanie, Kay, Addie, Sal, Chris, Enrique, Eddie, and my Chief of Staff, Ruben, thank you for your commitment to the community. Your responsiveness and your grit have made all the difference. You are public servants in every sense. You show up early, you stay late, and you lead with your heart. Our work wouldn't be possible without you, and I am proud to serve alongside you. Together, we've made real, lasting progress, and we are just getting started. When I first took this office, I made a commitment to push the South Side forward, and over the past 4 years, we've done just that. We've invested in infrastructure, brought long overdue attention to our F streets and our no streets, and ensured that basic city services like ACS, solid waste, code compliance, and public safety are working well for residents. These aren't just services, they are the foundation of everyday life. They're what keeps our homes safe, our streets clean, and our neighborhoods thriving. This next term will be about building on that momentum while addressing our city's financial challenges. We are facing a projected deficit in 2026 and 2027. This won't be easy to address, but I've never shied away from hard conversations and hard decisions. I will fight to make sure District 3 is not forgotten during our budget goal setting meetings, and I will continue pushing the South Side forward with intention, investment, and impact. But today It's going to be a lot easier because today we commemorate a truly meaningful milestone in our city's history. I am honored to serve alongside a majority female city council, the 4th time this has occurred in San Antonio. And the 3rd time a woman has held the role of mayor. This moment matters. Representation matters. It sends a powerful message to every young girl watching that leadership not only includes her, it looks like her. And let me be clear, it influences how we govern, how we serve, and how we inspire. I want all my women here on the dais to stand up and be acknowledged. Please stand, ladies. But now, I want all the women in this crowd that are serving on boards, are serving families, are teaching, to stand up also. Please stand up. Chiefs of staff, that's all you ladies. All you ladies, stand up. Stay standing. Stay standing, ladies. With this accomplished, diverse, and deeply dedicated group of women leading our city, I have no doubt we are building more compassionate, equitable, and responsive government. Thank you, ladies. And now, men, all we ask is for you to be our allies. This entire council brings a breadth of knowledge, lived experience, and passion to the table. I look forward to working collaboratively with newly appointed colleagues to deliver bold and meaningful outcomes for all of San Antonio. And we must think boldly about the future of our entire city. And yes, that includes transformational opportunities in housing and a sports and entertainment district, because I believe we can bring the Spurs downtown, and we can also have affordable housing and workforce affordable housing and more jobs for the people of San Antonio. As I close, I want to speak directly to the residents I represent from the South and the Southeast side. You are the reason I do this work. Whether it's fighting to fix your streets, returning your calls after hours, or standing up for what's right on this very dais, you deserve a leader who shows up, speaks up, and never gives up. Thank you for trusting me once again, for your prayers, for your support, for your donations, for the cookies that you can send me. I promise to continue to lead with integrity and with heart. The best is yet to come for District 3 and for the city of San Antonio. Thank you, God bless our city, and let's get back to work.
Thank you, Councilmember Villagrán. Councilmember Munguia, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much. You know, 18 years ago, I first visited this chamber as a sophomore on a high school field trip. And our class actually met with a council aide, and when I told him I might be interested in local government, he said that I could do it and that I belonged here. Little did I know that one day I'd be sitting up here myself. District 4 has been home to my family for many years. I'm a proud product of my community. My community didn't ask for the world on the campaign trail. They simply advocated for a nice and decent neighborhood with parks, sidewalks, good streets, and community investment. It's not lost on me that our neighbors who live south of Highway 90, which include my dad, my grandma, myself, and so many other family members, have a 20-year shortened life expectancy than our neighbors on the north side. And that's simply unacceptable. District 4 residents make this city run, and I committed myself to getting things done for our community and shining a light on our long-term issues that need resolutions. I wouldn't have been able to sit up here without my great-grandparents immigrating to this country, my grandparents working hard to build something better, and my parents for their focus on my education and being supportive of my dreams. I want to especially thank the residents of District 4 for their confidence in me, my campaign team, Natalie Garza and Matt Baiza, my Aunt Dee Dee, who's here today, my friends, my family, of course, my parents, my siblings, and my partner Kelly for her unwavering support and love throughout this whole time. Thank you. And as I've been noting to folks, I bought a tie to match her dress today, so. I also wanted to give a special thank you to my D4 team who's up there watching. They've been there for me since day one when I was an intern and slightly got bullied by Raul. So my outright win was in part due to their hard work. So thank you, Stephanie, Tim, Raul, Yohani, Rosanna, RJ, Cindy, Aaron, Amy, Jean, and our interns for all that you do for our community in District 4. I also want to thank and give a shout out to former Councilman Saldana for giving me a chance to come into this office and start my career here. Councilwoman Rocha Garcia for allowing me to grow into my role here on the staff. And to all my 4 predecessors who actually helped me on this campaign trail, backed me up, and wanted to get me here as well. So I thank you all very much, and thank you for your support. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilmember Munguia. Councilmember Castillo, please.
Thank you, Mayor Ortiz-Jones. I am extremely honored to have had the privilege to represent San Antonio's West and Southwest Side residents as a District 5 City Council member. Thank you, District 5 residents, for entrusting me and having the confidence to continue to serve and represent you all for the next 4 years here on City Council. Thank you to the residents for having confidence to represent you all every door, every conversation that I've had with residents. Thank you for ensuring that I continue to lead with integrity and with District 5 centered at every decision that I make. You know, oftentimes we get asked what is the most tough thing about becoming a city council member, and one thing that I've learned along the way is the relationships that we build with community members. For example, Ms. Velasquez was one of the first residents who asked to have breakfast with me while I was running, and she was a huge advocate to ensure that the Zalsamora Bridge overpass continued to be supported with the upcoming bond in 2022. And we built a relationship. She came to every open office hour, very active with the Palm Heights Neighborhood Association, and unfortunately we lost her. And we've lost so many District 5 residents that my District 5 team and I have built relationships with, and I think that's the toughest part, managing those relationships that we built with constituents that help keep us grounded in the work and continue to prioritize what those needs in our community. I want to thank my District 5 team for just continuing to ensure that I lead with integrity and to question my decisions, whether I'm voting yes or no coming back to the field office or down at City Hall, for them to ask me, can you help me understand why you voted no or voted yes? Thank you all for challenging me and not being yes men or yes women, but ensuring that I continue to lead with the best decision, the best information, and the best data to make the best decisions for District 5 residents. District 5, none of this work would be done without you all, the folks at the field office, down at City Hall. So I'm extremely grateful for our very impressive team, Christine, Rachel, Stephanie, Cynthia, Justin, Feliz, Councilmember Galvan, Amador, Derek. Thank you all for leading with a mindset with residents first and integrity and service to all of our residents. Katie and my buddy Benjamin and Eddie, thank you for leading with professionalism, and thank you to your family for loving my family, and my family just absolutely adores you all, so just thank you. And we absolutely adore Ben, who's our Chief of Staff Morale when he comes down to City Hall. The city of San Antonio is a better place because of you and your family, Katie, so thank you. My family, my parents, Joe and Terry, I love you all so much, and my uncle Art, my partner Thomas for being the best campaign teammate, best sounding board, and the best organizer. Thank you for your support and your leadership and for hearing me out when I come home from work to vent with all going on here. I love you all. To my siblings, Joe, Amber, Iris, and my nephew Lazarus, you all are the best campaign team ever, whether it's knocking on doors, poll greeting, or whatever the case may be. You all have had my back. Thank you all for trusting me and believing me when Thomas and I made the decision that this is what had to be done to ensure that we can continue to ensure that District 5 residents receive their share of investment and weren't left out of conversations. So thank you. But none of the thanks and accolades that our District 5 team receives and that I receive would be done without all of the city employees. Whether it's solid waste, animal care service, code compliance, none of the work is done without city staff. So no matter which city department that you're in, the District 5 team and myself are extremely grateful for your work and your commitment to serving the city of San Antonio. I'm extremely grateful for our city leadership team, my liaison, John Paterick, for always ensuring that he's asking what can we do in District 5 and ensuring that he's leading with transparency and integrity to ensure that we're meeting the needs of District 5 residents. And of course, our city manager, Eric Walsh. What I've shared with Eric and some of our team members is that as a community organizer and being an agitator, oftentimes there's a lot of critique. And now I find myself in the position standing as a shield and saying, you know, Eric Walsh leads with integrity and transparency. And I'm grateful to have him on the team, grateful for the team that you've created, that you lead with transparency. And what I often refer to is you're just a really good coach and you trust your team players to make the best decisions. So just thank you and your entire executive leadership team for just being and leading with integrity. Again, my gratitude goes out to AFSCME and again, all of our city employees. Too many departments to name, but of course, James with the Public Works Department who serves as our liaison. And our D5 team has so many Public Works requests, so I know James is fielding so many calls, so thank you, James Hall. We really appreciate you and just really appreciate Mario Hune, who was our liaison and was a huge advocate for District 5 public improvements. So may he rest in peace. We're extremely grateful for, of course, our firefighters and our safe officers, too many to name, but of course, Officer Tapio Moreno and so many others for just leading with integrity, connecting with our residents, and hoping and working to rebuild that trust that's much needed in our community. I would like to congratulate our new mayor, Mayor Ortiz Jones. We know that building a San Antonio is going to take bold leadership, and I really believe in your leadership. And oftentimes I get asked, what are you going to do to address the poverty in District 5? The 78207 are cities, if not our nation's most economically divested zip code. And I always respond, what are we going to do? Because it's going to take consensus building, communities coming together to ensure that we move forward as a city. And I am a strong believer that cities, nations, and states are as strong as their most vulnerable. And I'm hopeful with this council that's elected today, with our new mayor, that we will make great strides in ensuring that not just District 5, but the city of San Antonio continues to move forward where we uplift everyone. You know, over the last 4 years during my tenure on council, we've made so many great improvements, from creating Operation Rebuild, which started as a District 5 pilot that's now a citywide initiated program supported for the next 4 years through the 2022 bond, to leading in the state by the city of San Antonio being the first city to invest in our public housing stock, supporting our construction workers to ensure that they have access to a water break, and so much more. But there's so much more work we have ahead, and I don't have any question, but I have much confidence in this body to ensure that we continue to move the city of San Antonio forward. So thank you again to the residents of District 5 for entrusting myself and the District 5 team to continue to lead. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Castillo. Councilmember Galvan, please.
Thank you, Mayor. There will never be enough words or time to express the honor it is to serve as council member for the district that I grew up in. The district that raised me, the neighborhood that I've grown up in, the schools that I went to, the teachers that taught me, who also live in the district and were able to cast their vote for me as well after teaching me in the first grade or so. I'll never be able to fully express how I feel about that. But I'm gonna do my best tonight. I want to thank my predecessor, Councilmember Melissa Cabello-Haverda, for the hard work she's put in, along with her entire team as well, all the way through, for making a just transition all the way through, or quality transition all the way through up until today, to answer my questions, my concerns, to be a good thought partner, even on the campaign trail. And to the staff members too, whether they're staying with the team or not, thank you for the hard work you've done for District 6. Working together with them as a Neighbor Association president for my community that I grew up in was always incredible. And it saddens me to know that one of the main people that were working together with our neighborhood and with myself, Martin Trevino, is not here to see today and do the hard work together, because I know he was excited to do the hard work into the future. But that hard work that he's always done has paid off. Communities are always happy to talk about his legacy, the legacy of Councilmember Cabello-Haverda and the entire team, and so I'm incredibly grateful for all of them. And also, too, to work with Nancy Reyna and Orlando Ramirez and the District 6 office, who are staying on board, with Eric Cavazos coming on board as well, to help build this team that I think will be an incredible team to help support and work for the members and the residents of District 6. To my family, who's here today, my mom, my brother, to my girlfriend, Karina, to my family who couldn't be here today, but maybe you're here earlier today, or who couldn't come here at all, but were always on the campaign trail with me or supporting me from internally, I cannot say thank you enough. I love you with all of my heart, to have your support the entire way, to have the support of former teachers, to have the support of someone who got me into this entire world of politics, Ray Martinez, who is here today at the start of my entire career into this work, and to be here today too. Getting me on council has been incredible, an incredible journey for all of us. Jax Garcia, Jackie Campos, and folks on that campaign team who did incredibly hard work running a grassroots campaign in District 6 for a young candidate in the area and helping him get to City Hall. This is all because of y'all, and the work we're going to do together and the support I'm going to still need is going to be invaluable. So thank you for everything. I also want to thank, of course, District 6, the entirety of it. I know it was a close election, but I want to thank every single resident of District 6 who opened the door, who answered their phone, who spoke to us, whether it was myself or my campaign team, or my volunteers, my family, anybody that approached you in their Rick shirts, and there's a lot of them who kept knocking on those doors a lot. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk with you, to hear from you about the concerns in your community, and I'm excited and eager to work for every single one of you, to make sure that we're delivering that community, that vision that I set out on, a safer, more affordable, and more quality place to live in District 6 and across our city. As a proud son of an educator and a veteran, the proud grandson of educators and artists of the West Side, I cannot tell you what it means to be here in their legacy, and after all the work and energy they put in to growing our family in District 6 and in our West Side. It is an incredible journey to be here today. Thank you to my colleagues, of course, who are here, who are incredible both on the campaign trail, but also in the transition too, meeting with y'all, getting those first phone calls, having coffee with y'all, and I still owe some people some, and we will be getting to that. I can't thank y'all enough for all the support you've given me in this transition. Of course, many of us worked together already before while I was a city council staff member, but I'm really proud to know that y'all trust and have been able to work with me really well in this new role too. Of course, I also want to thank Councilmember Castillo for giving me the opportunity to work hard for District 5, to work to deliver for our residents there. The amount of District 5 residents that would reached out when I didn't tell them that I was running, and they saw me on the TV and said, "Wait, Rick, you got there," was incredibly, I don't even know how to express how invaluable it was. To work hard for the community where my family came from, where some of them still live too, to work hard for the folks who also have family there but are now in District 6, just like my family. It's just been an incredible experience, and thank you for taking the chance on me and for supporting me all the way through, and I can't wait to fight for our West Side residents together on the dais. Finally, I want to say that I'm just excited to get to work. Everyone who knows me personally, you know I like to get into the weeds of it all and to get ready and get going, but I can't say how much this means to me to be here today and to work together to build a great team and to deliver for the residents of District 6 and for the residents of San Antonio too. Thank you all. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Galvan. Councilmember Aldrete Gavito, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. It is an honor to continue serving the residents of District 7. To all the neighbors, supporters, thank you for entrusting me to continue to do this work. You drive me to do this work every day. James, I'm going to go off script, wherever James is, there he is. And I really want to acknowledge my team. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. I have the best team in this business. So if the District 7 team can please stand up to be recognized. We all have servants' hearts, and we too, I think Councilwoman Castillo said it, we too get in very heated discussions. They're all professionals. We push back on each other, but we do it because we care, and we're trying to find the best solution for the District 7 residents and the residents of the city. So 2 years ago, I said something on election night that still guides me today. Campaigns are about promises, but leadership is about delivering. And together we've delivered. When our community said safety was a top concern, we acted immediately. We added officers to the police force, we strengthened our SAFE teams, and we expanded our mental health response program, SA Core, to have 24/7 coverage. When our firefighters needed a champion, I proudly stood with them, with a lot of media backlash, but still did it. Leading the effort for their best contract in more than a decade. And when families demanded action on dangerous dog attacks, we introduced our loose and dangerous dog policy proposal to keep people safe. That's what it means to be responsive, and that's what it means to lead. Regarding infrastructure, you asked for better streets and sidewalks, and we got to work. We invested over $12 million to repair 143 streets, and we filled thousands of potholes. I did one myself, and it's tough work. We dedicated nearly $5 million to new and improved sidewalks and completed more than 300 infrastructure projects. Everyone deserves safe and reliable infrastructure in the city. It is not a luxury, it is a necessity. We also served with compassion. We launched the Senior Assistance Pilot Program, the first of its kind in San Antonio, to help our older adults and disabled residents fix code violations with support, not with punishment. That's how we bring heart into the halls of government, by making policy that reflects the values we grew up with. About parks and green spaces, in District 7, we didn't just invest in parks. We paid attention to the details. When I was block walking on my first campaign, I was so surprised to find out that there are several parks in District 7 that have playgrounds with no shade structures. It doesn't make sense. We live in Texas. They can't burn their little hands. So if a playground didn't have shade, we fixed it. From shade structures at Opie Schnabel Park to Jane Dubell to a historic $6.5 million investment in Woodlawn Lake Park, we're making sure families can have a safe place to enjoy beautiful green spaces in every corner of the district. I've also said it before, I'm going to say it again. Green spaces and parks are so important for people's physical health, but also for their mental health. The federal grant that me and my team worked on adds $3.25 million matched dollar for dollar, and this is the largest grant ever given to a single park in our city's history, and we did that in my first term. Regarding transparency and accessibility, I said I'd be accessible, and I meant it. We didn't sit behind a desk. We showed up at town halls, at our monthly coffees with the councilwoman. We block walked, not just during the campaign, but all year long. We attended over 500 neighborhood meetings in under 2 years. We kept residents informed with my weekly videos, which I don't like recording, but I do it anyways with love, newsletters and updates, because accountability happens in neighborhoods in real time and face-to-face. Looking ahead, this inauguration marks not just a new term, but a renewed commitment. We're not slowing down. We will work hard to keep our Spurs here in San Antonio where they belong, and we will bring more investment to safety, infrastructure, small business housing, and our green spaces. I will continue to lead with transparency, empathy, and a relentless focus on everyday needs in our community. District 7 is too where I grew up, and it is also where I chose to raise my daughters. Serving this community is personal. To my family, to my girls, Marielle and Gigi, you are my world and you are my why. To my parents, Joe and Chris Alderete, my sister Claudette, whose birthday we just celebrated, and her family, to my brother Joe and his family, to my twin sister Karina and her son Adrian. So if y'all see my twin sister and I'm not saying hi, it's probably my twin sister, just so that you know. And to Paul, thank you so much for being on this journey with me and supporting me and loving me unconditionally. To my supporters and my council office team, I'm going to name them by name: Isabella, Kyle, Latika, Tracy, Adrian, Eric, Frank, James, Santiago, and Saul. Thank you so much. To the city team, you all are incredible professionals led by Eric Walsh, and we appreciate working alongside you all. And to my campaign team, Isabella, Frank, James, and Mia, and Saul and Mia Gonzalez, thank you. Everyone's dedication, long hours, and belief in this work helped make this day possible. You all never took your foot off the gas. You never gave up. I know I have high expectations, and you continually meet them every single day. Together, we are building a stronger, safer, more vibrant District 7 and city, and we're just getting started. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Aldrete Gavito. Councilmember Meza Gonzalez, please.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I'm thankful to the voters of District 8 for electing me to represent them on this council. I'm born and raised here in San Antonio, and it is with deep sense of pride and responsibility that I acknowledge their confidence in me. My pledge is to always keep in mind their needs and priorities that I heard on the campaign trail. I'm also grateful for the support of my family and friends who encouraged and helped me throughout this long campaign. I see some of my campaign team here today. Laura, Chase was here earlier, Ben, Judy, Liz, Eliza. It means the world to me that you are here, and all the work that we did is paid off, so thank you so much. I'm excited for the opportunity to work collaboratively, with my council colleagues and our new mayor for the good of all the people of our great city. Although I'm new to council, I came to this job with some working knowledge of city operations, which will help me navigate the difficult budget shortfall issues we're facing at a time when projected state and federal resources are shrinking. I believe San Antonio is up to the challenge to make the course corrections needed to maintain our positive growth trajectory while remaining a compassionate city where neighbors are always ready to support each other. I am confident that Eric and his great team will provide reasonable options to help us make these hard decisions, but at the end of the day, it will be up to us as a council to set priorities and make decisions. District 8 is a sparkling jewel of diversity with vital educational, economic, and healthcare resources and successful large and small businesses that serve our entire region. We also have wonderful neighborhoods that we want to keep safe, clean, with great parks, restaurants, businesses, and peaceful houses of worship. District 8 has a long history of strong representation on council. I intend to continue that commitment and dedication of my predecessors. Finally, I want to acknowledge my mother, Choco Mesa, who left us far too early, and my dad, Daniel Mesa. My mother was born in Zaragoza, Coahuila, Mexico. My dad was born in Laredo, and they actually met here in San Antonio. My dad was a guidance counselor at Memorial High School, and my mom was doing her student teaching. Their unwavering dedication, they had an unwavering dedication to public service, and instilling in me the obligation we all have to help everyone in our community enjoy the blessings we enjoy as Americans. My mother helped to actually create the single-member district plan, which was adopted at the City of San Antonio in 1977. And 48 years later, here I am, her daughter, serving on City Council. Last but certainly not least, I would not be standing here today without the love and support of my husband, Manuel Gonzalez, and our two beautiful children, Emma and Joaquin. They constantly remind me that family is the most important part of building a vibrant, innovative, and compassionate city filled with diverse cultural roots and steeped in a rich history that is San Antonio. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Mesa Gonzalez. Councilmember Spears, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. We're here today not just to celebrate a campaign victory, but to begin the real work. The people of District 9 have given us our charge. Now we're going to fulfill it with drive and purpose. As a mother, I've learned that compassion and tough love go hand in hand. Moms don't have the luxury of ignoring problems. We figure it out. We solve what is in front of us, and that's exactly how I plan to lead. I will work shoulder to shoulder with our neighborhoods and our businesses to create a city that reflects what we all want, a place where we feel safe, where we are respected, and where we can thrive. Public safety is not negotiable. That means full support for law enforcement, fire, and EMS, not just in words, but in resources and smart investment. That includes our dispatchers and first responders behind the scenes. Safety is the foundation of any strong city, and it will always be a top priority for me. We also need to talk about infrastructure, especially drainage. This isn't just a matter of convenience. It's a public safety issue. Families should be able to travel around our city without fear of being caught in dangerous conditions. We need to modernize and maintain our infrastructure so that safety and economic mobility go hand in hand. A growing, vibrant city can't afford to ignore these basics. I'm also committed to changing how we think about housing, particularly for our seniors. Aging in place should not mean isolation or indignity. We need to reimagine senior living so that it's affordable, flexible, and filled with services that honor their contribution to our city. Dignity in aging is something we can and will deliver on. Job creation is another pillar of this vision. People deserve confidence in their future. They want the dignity of work that provides for their families. I want San Antonio to be the kind of city where businesses choose to headquarter and where working families don't just get by, they get ahead. And as we look to the future, we must never forget those who've worn the uniform. Our veterans have sacrificed so much to protect our freedoms, and it's our duty to make sure they are never left behind. And that means access to quality services and support for veteran-owned businesses and making San Antonio a place where every veteran can thrive in civilian life. Honoring their service isn't just the right thing to do, it makes our city stronger. Being known as Military City USA is more than a title. It's a responsibility. We must provide the access, advocate for the needs of our veterans and their families, and protect our existing military missions and seek to grow them. Our military presence strengthens our economy, our culture, and our values, and I'll always fight to protect it. I'm not here to win headlines. I'm here to deliver results. I'm willing to build bridges, I'm open to ideas, and I'll work with anyone who's committed to make this city better. But I want to be very clear, I was not elected to play it safe. I was elected to listen and to fight for the people of District 9, and that's exactly what I'll do. Now I want to take a moment to say thank you. First and foremost, I thank God, because none of this would be possible without His guidance and grace. I thank my family, specifically Adrienne, Savannah, Scarlett, and Sadie, Duke and Mara, Neil, Glenda, Ellen, Emily, Jay, Jan, and Jason, to name a few of my lovely family members here today. My campaign team, specifically Dr. Jennifer Hendricks, my campaign manager, and Commissioner Grant Moody, my incoming staff, and the people of District 9, especially those who believed in this vision from the very beginning. So today, I step into this role full of hope, clarity, and focus. I know what's at stake. I know what our families and our community deserve, that our families and our community deserve excellence. And I promise you this, I will show up, I will work hard, and lead with heart, conviction, and determination. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Spears. Councilmember White, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. For me, there's nowhere to begin other than thanking my family and my friends for all of their support. My mom, dad, beautiful wife, Lorian, brother, sister, Steve, Jan, Brooke, Coz, Krishna, and so many others. I am so fortunate to have such an amazing family that has been there to support me every step of the way, no matter what I've wanted to do in this life, and I'm very, very appreciative for all of that love and support. To my kids, I want you to know how much I love you. This job that I'm doing here today is awesome, but nothing compares to being your dad. At the end of the day, San Antonio is our home, and I do this job to try to make this city better for everyone, and that, of course, includes you. You all know how hard I try to do this job right, but you also know that sometimes Dad doesn't always get it right. I make mistakes, just like all of you or both of you will make in your life. But as I tell you all the time, it's how you rebound from the mistakes that is what really matters. Life isn't easy. You've got to keep pushing for what's right and what makes you happy. And I know that both of you are going to do just that, and I'm so proud of the ladies that you're becoming. To Eric and the rest of city staff, your staff, Eric, I want to thank you all for what you do for your city. This job, our city, this job isn't easy. And you've got 11 people up here constantly peppering you with questions and different ideas and wanting different things. And you all always act so professionally and just seek to do the best you can for San Antonio. And all of that work does not go unnoticed. So thank you for what you do. To my team, thank you for coming on this ride with me. Raul, Cynthia, Laney, Rebecca, Pauline, Nathan, Delmer, Brenna, Rosalinda, Max, and Samantha. I say it all the time, you are great people with so much to offer. And District 10 in the city of San Antonio is so lucky that you have chosen to use your talents to serve our residents. So thank you all for what you have done for me, for our district, and this city. To the people of District 10, thank you for your trust in me. It is truly the honor of a lifetime to represent this great district. District 10 is a place with great neighborhoods, people that believe in faith, family, and freedom. I say it all the time. I feel like I was meant to represent this district, and for the next 4 years, I plan on doing everything in my power to advance the interest of my constituents. Truly, truly looking forward to these next 4 years. And finally, to my colleagues, Sook, Jalen, Phyllis, Edward, Terry, Rick, Marina, Evilise, Misty, and Mayor. We've accomplished so much in these last 2 years. We're beginning to implement a new budgeting model with my 3 favorite letters. You know I was going to say it, Sook. ZBB. So that we're going to help spend our money more wisely. We've done construction mitigation grants to help our small businesses. We've added funding for more than 170 new police officers, and we got that contract for our brave men and women in our fire department. We've done so much. The city's doing fine, but the city could be doing so much more. I want y'all to think about this. We live in the greatest country in the world, and we live in the greatest city in that country. And the 11 of us get to represent it and guide this city into the future. We are 11 different people from different backgrounds with many different beliefs. And because of that, there's going to be disagreements. But if we disagree respectfully, and then we agree to work collaboratively on whatever the next issue is, I believe that our collective talent and our shared passion for San Antonio is going to allow us to take this city to heights that it has never seen before. But we cannot get distracted by whatever the latest hot button, politically divisive issue is. As Suk said earlier, this is the closest level of government to the people. And every single day when we come to work, we should ask ourselves one question: how can we use our resources, which are limited, as we know, to most directly and positively impact the day-to-day lives of our citizens? And really, it comes down to three main things. It's about public safety, doing what we can to make sure everyone in our city feels safe. It's about infrastructure, making sure our infrastructure is up to par so everyone can drive on safe roads, walk on safe sidewalks, and we have drainage systems that work. And then it's economic development. How can we make this city more prosperous? How can we create more jobs, good-paying jobs for our citizens so that they can take care of their families and we can lift everybody up in all four corners of San Antonio? I am confident that if we stay focused on the task at hand, the next 4 years are going to be great for our city. I'm honored to serve with you, and I look forward to seeing what we're going to be able to do together. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember White. Let me again extend my congratulations to everyone up here who had a tough campaign, and now, as reflected in their comments, everyone is committed to making sure that we move our city forward together with everybody in mind. I want to thank the city staff that has worked so hard to make today possible, as well as the transition possible, in particular the clerk, as well as Eric and the team. I also want to make sure I certainly thank my family members that have flown in, my friends, my partner, Angelica, my mom, who continues to guide me in all ways. I also want to make sure that I thank the campaign team that got me here, that worked very, very hard. And as you all saw, against very high odds, we got to where we are because San Antonio reminded everybody that San Antonio has two things: compassion and common sense. I certainly want to thank also my fellow neighbors, whether you voted for me or didn't vote for me or didn't vote. This council up here, again, is committed to making sure that you have the best possible opportunity to live your best possible life here in the greatest city, as mentioned, in our country. I think when we go through experiences like this, there are oftentimes opportunities to reflect, as the Archbishop always reminds us. And we reflect certainly on who helped us get here and the things that we just went through that have steeled us, right? Steeled us in many ways to make sure that we can continue going. I am, as mentioned, always guided by my mom's example. My mom came to this country over 40 years ago. She graduated from the #1 university in the Philippines, but came here as a domestic helper. My uncle joined the U.S. Navy in 1967 as a member of the Navy Steward Program. The Navy was recruiting Filipino men to do kind of menial jobs, but again, so motivated by a chance at the American dream. My mom and my uncle humbled themselves for a chance at the American dream. And so they instilled in my sister and I the importance of making sure that we gave back to this very special country. It's why my sister proudly serves in the Navy to this day, and I was honored to serve our country in a number of ways, in uniform and out of uniform. I'm also quite thankful of the immediate investments by this community. I mean, this is an Exit 7 kid, Title I, Northside Independent School District. And I'm proudly joined here by Mr. Calvin Buckholtz, who taught at John Jay High School for over 40 years, a mentor of mine, and is just a great example of what happens when our community invests in smart, healthy kids. My time in public service has always shown me that true national security starts at home. It starts with a strong middle class. It starts with investing in smart, healthy kids. And it requires elected officials that understand to whom they are accountable. And it is always the people. It's always the people. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge those whose shoulders many of us up here, as Councilmember Viagran mentioned, this is only the third time that young girls and young boys have the opportunity to hear Madam Mayor, right? And that's important equally for our young girls and our young boys. So I know the Honorable Maria Antoinette Berriozabal is in the room. Please stand. I want to thank the Honorable Rosie Castro as well. The others I'll name are not in the room, but certainly have made it possible so that I could be here today. Anise Parker, the first member of the LGBTQ community to lead a major Texas city. Certainly even the example of Governor Ann Richards, right? Many of us, again, as we think about what we have just gone through, are steeled not only when we think about how we got here, but again, now what we are facing, right? As we talked about the immediate opportunities to improve the lives of the constituents in our community, but we are also very cognizant of the headwinds facing our community, be they fiscal, but also be they fundamentally attacks on American character. An American ability to lead, and attacks on, as Archbishop always reminds us to be cognizant of, the most vulnerable, right? Show me how you treat the most vulnerable, and I will show you your character. And so we have an opportunity not only through our budgeting process, we can certainly incorporate compassion into ZBB, Councilmember Mark White, and we will do that to ensure that, again, we are living our values as best we can here in the great city of San Antonio. This is a very talented group. I think you just heard, certainly by the remarks of Councilmember Gavito, Aldrete Gavito, for example, as what she outlined and what she accomplished in her district. I think when you also look at the backgrounds of these fine public servants, there is a lot we are going to be able to do for our city, and there's a lot that we need to do when it comes to affordable housing, when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to making sure we address the inequity north and south of 90. Right? And so whether we're talking about more senior housing in District 9, of which I agree we need all throughout our community, or whether we're talking about making sure that we have a justice system that is truly reflective, not only of, again, public safety, but we're thinking of expansively animal control, as Councilmember Suk just described, but also a justice system that reflects our values as best able. Because at the end of the day, when I mentioned some of the great women that have served ahead of us, that have made this moment possible, at times, when we can maybe be distracted or question our own path forward, we're reminded, for example, about the great words and the very simple way of what the Honorable Barbara Jordan said, right? Congress member out of the Houston area at the time. And she said, what the people want is very simple. They want an America as good as its promise, right? And so if we ever are confused about how we need to move forward, fundamentally it comes down to what do we want for ourselves? That is certainly what the most vulnerable in our community also want, and also what they deserve. So I know with this talented group of folks up here, we will be able to move our city forward, make smart investments, make sure we're doing right by all parts of our community, and making sure that we reflect the values and the promise and the capacity and the talents of everyone in our community. So thank you all for joining us today. There will be lots of times to get in, opportunities to get into the details and plans, but I think it was important to level set how we are going to approach this and the dais that this character will have moving forward. So with that, Ernie, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. How about a round of applause one more time for Mayor Jones and your San Antonio City Council. Congratulations once again. At this time, I would like to welcome up to the dais here San Antonio's own poet laureate, Eduardo Eddie Vega.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for sticking around for this whole thing. This seems like a 7-hour ceremony. No, I'm kidding. I've been here since 4, which means that the more time I spend here, the more I want to write and put into this poem. So bear with me because this is a new composition. Madam Mayor, esteemed council persons, council mom, and the rest of the council families, honored guests. The Payaya knew what the Españoles would later understand, que esta tierra, this spot of earth full of nogales and laureles, bald cypress and live oak, where sensontles sing to welcome the dawn and morning doves provide the first call to breakfast, tacos. And this place, Yanaguana, land of the spirit waters, is sacred. The Padrecitos named it San Antonio for the friar from Padua, known for his eloquence, whom we now turn to when items need to be found. San Antonio, we find ourselves here, in the middle of it all, downtown next to the cathedral where our heroes rest and to where Southsiders will bring their breakfast tacos. Westsiders will bring their barbacoa. Eastsiders will bring their barbecue, and Northsiders will bring their kids to watch the Nutcracker at the Majestic. San Antonio, we found ourselves in this moment. In January, we marched for a king. In March, for a Cesar. April, confetti flowers brought flower crowns to May. Summer started before Memorial Day. It will last until November, maybe December, when we'll find ourselves in the winter of our this is still too warm to be wearing that big fluffy suit. So we'll have posadas in guayaberas and stroll the Riverwalk, lit up in twinkles and sparkles and moonlight melodies. But right now it's June. After the fiesta election, some of you walked right through those doors. The rest of you had to keep running a little longer. And it's June. And maybe things got heated, but you've made it into this air-conditioned building, and it's time to be cool. As your constituents, we ask you to cooperate. As your community, we ask you to come through. As your pueblo, we ask you to be of the gente, by the gente, and for the gente. We find ourselves in a city that never tires of history, where native people more or less welcomed the first immigrants, fair-complected people that spoke Spanish. Our first alcaldes were Tejanos until more immigrants came speaking German and English. Today, we find ourselves in the 3rd largest city in Texas, the 7th largest city in America, with a mayor who speaks pride and progress and representation and family and inspiration, and 4 men and 7 women will lead us. And San Antonio will continue to be a light set upon the foot of the hill country that will not be hidden, will not be put under a pan dulce basket, will be put on a lampstand to light up this whole house that we call America. We find ourselves in Yanaguana, and we look to Gina, along with Suk, Jalen, Phyllis, Edward, Terry, Rick, Marina, Ivalis, Misty, and Mark, to look toward our future as we continue to ask eternal San Antonio questions. Where is the basement to the Alamo? Is this the year that the Spurs get the 6th title? When will Commerce Street be finished? Regardless, we find ourselves in this chamber, the people of Salsamora, South Cross, and Southwest Military, Culebra, Castroville, Commerce, Nacogdoches, Nogalitos, New Braunfels. We are San Pedro, O'Connor, Roosevelt, Tezo, Flores, Wurzbach, Marbach, Petranco. We are the people of Cesar Chavez Boulevard, Martin Luther King Drive, and Rosa Parks Way. We are North Side and East Side, South Side and West Side. We are Yanaguana. We are San Anto. We are Puro San Antonio. We've found our truest, most boldest, most amazing self, San Antonio. We've found ourselves home right here. Thank you.
Eddie Vega. How about that? Congratulations. Well done. Okay. That's a great way to conclude our inauguration ceremony this evening. So at this point, we're going to ask all our guests in front of me to please remain seated as we dismiss our dais here, our new council members, the mayor, city manager, city attorney. We're going to dismiss all of them. Again, ask everybody here to be seated and remain seated. We're going to ask you to do that as the color guard until they've come and retrieved the flags and proceeded through the assembly. So again, thank you all so much for being here. I'll ask for one more big round of applause and congratulate our new mayor and our city council. Thank you so much for having me here with you. God bless you all. God bless San Antonio. While the colors are being retrieved, we will ask the council members, you are dismissed now, and thank you again. They're going to be headed to a private ceremony. We'll get to more on that in a moment, but first we'll retrieve the colors. Thank you again. We'll ask our guests to remain seated, and all of you now are dismissed. Thank you again.